Hey, Motor City fans, Colby Smith here, and I'm pleased to be joined by Motor City Rockers team president, Adam Stio. Adam, we'll jump right into it in just a minute, but first, how are you doing today?
Oh, just having fun out here in Fraser, Michigan.
That's good to hear. All right, well, first off, let's kind of bridge the gap for Battle Creek fans, FPHL fans, everyone getting into this season. How did the decision come about that Battle Creek was no longer going to be a part of the FPHL?
That's kind of an interesting subject. I mean, everyone knows that the team didn't have much success, and but yet, when you're in the minor leagues, it's kind of tough when you see something not have success. It's very easy just to let it go and start from scratch. And I mean, when they came up with the idea of moving to Fraser and they found some ownership for it, it was good and it was great. I was very thankful to get the phone call to be a part of this. So hopefully things are looking forward and up.
And when things came about for Battle Creek to kind of call it in, there was talk that behind the scenes you worked to get Battle Creek a new place. There were talks about Berlin, New Hampshire. Can you kind of speak to that a little bit?
There were a lot of rumors. I definitely traveled around to a couple of really cool places, stuff that was never near the rumor mill. I don't want to discuss those because they were never contracted places, but there are a lot of interested parties. There were a lot of interested arenas, and there's lots of great facilities that would fit the mold of a federal league opportunity. And I just wanted to see it go forward, see a 10th team succeed here in the Federal League, and obviously for my staff and the players that we had within the organization this year, just to make sure that everybody got as fair a shake as they could for the upcoming year and get a chance to work and play.
But now that you've seen the game from a coaching standpoint, a general manager standpoint, a president standpoint, the experience you have is undenying. How does seeing the game from multiple perspectives as a hockey executive kind of help you get a better sense of starting out a team here in Fraser?
Oh, well, I'm definitely no stranger starting teams. This is probably going back about 18 or 19 years. So, I think when I had a long conversation with Barry Soskin about starting the team in Battle Creek, he had a lot of faith in me, and he did a lot of. I obviously had a major financial commitment with him and his partners. To make sure we were able to put up a good staff and show a good direction to get the 10th team started, and then this year again with our current ownership and everything, just trying to get everything started. So I'm no stranger to getting things going, and the experiences, I guess you can use an old adage as whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger, and I never profess to ever know everything, and all these different experiences just help prepare you better for the future, and that's hockey, life, everything. So everything's just a speed bump, and you try and learn from it, move forward, and do it better.
Talking about some of those experiences, are there some in particular you're going to use here in Motor City, getting things going for the team? Anything that kind of sticks out? Any philosophies heading into this year?
Well, I think the fresh start definitely helps. I think us being in a market where there's a lot more hockey. Obviously, the arena is bigger than what we had last year. So when you compare the building and the opportunities and the fact that we're in the hockey town area, definitely gives us better steps in all parts of the organization. So from only having 50,000 people in the area in central Michigan to having over 1 million people in the metro area here is a huge difference. A lot more hockey rinks in this area, being there's only 2 or 3 out in that region, and we have, I think it's 14 buildings and probably close to 30 sheets of ice within about 40 minutes. Gives us a target-rich environment for everything out here. And then the fact that there's a lot more players in this area, we have a broader horizon of guys that we can choose from here. And then obviously if we have a pinch or, we're missing guys on a weekend, we got a chance to pick up some really good players here. So on all fronts, definitely a better situation.
Well, fans have already had the opportunity to see the team logo, the new team jerseys, and it seems as if intrigue is growing for this season. Why was the name Motor City Rockers chosen, and what went into the design of the logo and into the team jerseys? Because I'm sure you've been doing a lot of work.
Yeah, well, I mean, we wanted to pay homage to the area. So, I mean, the automobile industry obviously got started out here many years ago, and there have been teams out here that have come and started at Fraser, Michigan, here at Fraser Hockeyland, and they've called themselves Detroit. They've called themselves Metro Area. They've called themselves Motor City, and we wanted to come up with a brand that. Again, paid homage. So we were looking for different things, and we know how big rock music is in this area. You know, Kiss and a few other bands have played in Fraser Hockeyland back in the 70s, coming up with people like Alice Cooper and Bob Seger, and then, you know, eventually people like Kid Rock and Eminem. And music is just a very, very big part of this area. And we tried to pay homage to both, you know, having Motor City for the automobile industry, and then coming up with some cool branding and, you know, being able to do many things with the rocker brand. And we thought that was a winner. We thought the color scheme was good. Purple is a color unlike most teams here in the minor leagues. No other team in the Federal League has it. So we wanted to try and be as unique and have something that we can have as much fun with, and that would appeal to a lot of the people in the area. So we think we have a very strong brand.
Well, now, I mean, you've introduced the team. Everything's getting all set for you. You introduced your new head coach, Khalil Thomas. What went into the coaching search, and how did you know Khalil was your man to take over the helm for this inaugural season?
Well, just like everything else, we had between our ownership and myself, we had a lot of good candidates, and we interviewed heavily. And I don't think we could have made a bad decision. We had some very, very good candidates, and just like as you bring players into a camp and you try and whittle it down, if you have tougher decisions, you know, it makes your job harder. But like I said, I don't think we could have made a wrong decision, but I think we looked at experience more than anything else. Khalil has a lot of good coaching experience. He has an amazing playing background, and you know, his being in the ECHL the past couple of years. Obviously, his brother was in the SPHL for a couple of years, so he does have a lot of great connections and a lot of great experience. He's coached at the junior level, at the professional level, and I think just going with him, he's a great guy. And I think that was another thing. A couple of points that some of the other candidates had is they're all great people, and I think his experience just kind of got him the edge over everybody else, and the amount of connections he has through minor league hockey, and you know, being from Ontario and obviously having some roots down here. You know, I just think he was the easy choice. Once we got down to it, the experience kind of reigned over everything. But yeah, he's definitely got the connections, definitely got the experience, and he's been a lot of fun to work with these past couple of weeks. And I think he's building something fantastic for us. And a lot of people aren't going to be able to see some of the signings that we'll have for a little while, but it'll be worth it in the end.
Well, talking about players, you kicked off the transaction front, the first transaction in team history, the trade with Columbus and Tim Santapalo and Ryan Ells. What are those guys going to do to help you start out this team this year? What are they going to do in the locker room? What's the brand of hockey they're looking to play on the ice?
Well, I mean, both of these guys are very educated professionals, and they're very you know, they're very good locker room people, and you know, they're very motivational, the two of them. So I mean, keeping things you know, to the nines when it comes to that in the locker room, and keeping everybody positive is huge. And they're both that kind of guy, and they're both action kind of players. So you never know what they're going to do or how they're going to do it, and they keep everybody guessing on the ice, which is good about both. And they're both good individuals off the ice. So Albie, unfortunately, I think is over in Europe already. So not too sure he's going to be making the transition back here. But once their season gets over, as we get into February and March, I think he'd be a good asset to be able to bring in late in the season. As far as Timmy, I mean, he's ready to get going. He's already looking at moving up here and trying to be a part of the team as fast as he can. And he's from Illinois, so but just overall a good guy. He's looking to finish up his schooling at the same time, and wants to get some education on the business side of the organization as well. So, but he's heavily involved, and it's great to see him. And you know, he's a fantastic kid too.
And another transaction that seems so intriguing, Joel Eisenhower, the goalie you coached last season in Battle Creek, coming over to play in Motor City. What exactly did you see from Eisenhower you liked last season that made you decide to ink him to a contract here in Fraser?
Well, Joel is a fantastic kid. He's only been a pro for a year or so, and you know, he was just absolutely resilient. And when you have goaltenders that are very calm and passionate, it's kind of a rarity. Most goaltenders, everyone think are nuts, and you know, standing in front of that many shots and you know, trying to block 80 and 90-mile-an-hour pucks on a regular basis and some of these guys do get a little nutty. All hockey people know what I mean when I say that. So he's just very calm, and he was somebody that was a stalwart that everyone could kind of rely on. And I know last year we didn't put up the numbers, but when he consistently saw 60 and 70 and eventually a couple of games 80 and 90 shots, you know, he stayed. It didn't matter what goal he gave up or how he gave it up. He was always ready to stand in the net, and everyone knew his level of confidence about going for the next one. And you know, really helped the organization out last year. And I think he'd come in here, battle for a job, and I think he'd easily earn one here. But you know, again, we have to wait and see. We don't know what else is going to be out on the market, and nothing against him, but you know, if there's an opportunity to grab somebody, you know, that can beat him out for a job. I mean, he's good at competing too. So all through the year, we had different goaltenders, and you know, he loves good competition. So and again, he's a good kid. So it's good to have him back.
Well, like you just said, there's obviously going to be guys on the open market with the season still a couple of months away, but if you really think about it, there's a team in the FPHL like the Elmira Enforcers. They're known for taking penalty minutes. They're known for their physicality. Obviously, bringing in Khalil Thomas, I'm sure you guys have already had some conversations with the pieces you've already brought in. But with pieces still to come, what is the kind of brand of hockey you guys are looking to build?
It's going to be an attacking brand of hockey. We're going to be, you know, from what I've heard from Khalil on some of these players, I think we're still going to be blue collar as well. We'll have a lot of guys that know how to finish checks and you know, play the game completely. Because as you know, as everyone knows, the game has become more about, you know, speed and puck moving and sweeping and stick checking instead of playing the body. And the Federal League brand of hockey is definitely a little more grinding, a little more, you know, a little more physical. And I think we have a lot more guys that are, how would you say, more complete players. And that's kind of what he's looking for, is guys that can play a simple system, guys that can enter the zone, shoot the puck, and then when we have the opportunity for loose pucks, they're going to bang for them. They're not just going to go in with their sticks and try and you know, be new school about it. I think we're going to try and put together an old school kind of team that's going to bang around, give the fans a little fun. Maybe you know, have a guy or so in the lineup that'll you know, occasionally drop the mitts too, and give the fans what they want to see, is that rock'em sock'em brand.
All right, Mr. Stio. Well, that's all for now. Thank you so much for joining me today, and all the best to you moving forwards.
Hey, my pleasure, Colby. Thank you.